All right, it is 10 a.m. Welcome back to ARCNA 34 Zoom edition. This is officially the last meeting of our weekend, sadly. But my name is Matthew. I'm an addict, and we will help me open this meeting with a moment of silence followed by serenity prayer. Everyone will stay muted, so please follow along at home. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Before welcoming our speaker, we would like to make a few announcements regarding this virtual convention. First, while this convention is utilizing both Zoom and YouTube, Narcotics Anonymous as a fellowship does not endorse or support either company or platform. Because this format limits the possibility for complete anonymity, it is up to each individual member to decide what steps they feel necessary to protect their anonymity, such as removing their last name from their username, turning off their camera if they see fit, and removing the default picture associated with their Zoom account. In addition, this meeting is being broadcast via live stream on youtube.com and is available to be rewatched and downloaded from that platform. So please be mindful of this. In an effort to maximize the security, within the platform, the chat function, virtual backgrounds, and all screen sharing options have been disabled. In addition to this, the meeting co-host will be monitoring individual participants' video feeds, screen names, and backgrounds. And if anything inappropriate is observed, that user will be removed from the call and will not be able to rejoin. This is to ensure that this convention remains a safe, recovery-focused environment for all participants. We don't need to talk about that. If anybody is trying to get into the meeting and is unable to, if we reach our cap, we ask that everybody please go to youtube.com and search ARCNA Zoom, where you can follow along with the live video stream. Let's see, I don't see Laura having joined, so I'm gonna be Laura for a second. For information about ARCNA 34 Live Edition, officially it has been moved to July 31st to August 2nd. So let me show this real quick. At the Doubletree Hotel, we have all standard, everything that a convention would have as of right now. We have discounted room rates on this flyer here. And I will put all this information in the chat. So if you're interested in getting more information about ARCNA or room reservations or anything like that, I will put all this information in the chat as well. Let me go back to my script. Thank you, son. I appreciate it. Yes, that's very cute. All right. In addition, we have some awesome merchandise that is available too. I muted myself. Sorry. Apparently, I'm not able to do 15 things at once. We have these awesome bandanas. These are super cool, made by Diana. They dual purpose as coronavirus shields, and they're just awesome. So we are running low on stock. So if you are interested in one of these, they are a $10 donation to ARCNA. Please contact myself. My name and number are on the flyer for this Zoom call or for the Zoom meeting. And we can send them anywhere. We've already got them outside of the country, so we can send them anywhere you need them. Just get some cool merch. And with that, we will go into our readings. I will put all the stuff in the chat as well. But first and foremost, we've got Barrett going to read Who is an Addict? Go ahead.
My name is Berit, and I'm an addict. Most of us do not have to think twice about this question. We know our whole life and thinking was centered in drugs in one form or another, the getting and using and finding ways and means to get more. We live to use and use to live. Very simply, an addict is a man or a woman whose life is controlled by drugs. We are people in the grip of a continuing and progressive illness whose ends are always the same: jails. you.
Thank you very much, Barrett. Appreciate it. And next up, we have Corey reading What is the NA Program? Let me unmute you here. All right, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Corey. I'm an addict. What is the Narcotics Anonymous program? NA is a nonprofit fellowship or society of men and women for whom drugs have become a major problem. We are recovering addicts who meet regularly to help each other stay clean. This is a program of complete abstinence from all drugs. There is only one requirement for membership, the desire to stop using. We suggest that you keep an open mind and give yourself a break. Our program is a set of principles written so simply that we can follow them in our daily lives. The most important thing about them is that they work. There are no strings attached to NA. We are not affiliated with any other organizations. We have no initiation fees or dues, no pledges to sign, no promises to make to anyone. We are not connected with any political, religious, or law enforcement groups and are under no surveillance at any time. Anyone may join us regardless of age, race, sexual identity, creed, religion, or lack of religion. We are not interested in what or how much you used or who your connections were, what you have done in the past, how much you have done, how little you have, but only in what you want to do about your problem and how we can help. The newcomer is the most important person at any meeting because we can only keep what we have by giving it away. We have learned from our group experience that those who keep coming to our meetings regularly stay clean. Thank you for letting me read.
And thank you very much for reading. All right, next up, we have Amanda reading Why Are We Here? Are you there, Amanda? All right, we'll come back to Amanda. Then how about Rhonda?
Good morning, Addict Rhonda. Why are we here? Before coming to the Fellowship of NA, we cannot manage our own lives. We cannot live and enjoy life as other people do. We had to have something different, and we thought we had found it in drugs. We placed their use ahead of the welfare of our families, our wives, husband, and our children. We had to have drugs at all costs. We did many people great harm, but most of all, we harmed ourselves. Through our inability to accept personal responsibilities, we were actually creating our own problems. We seemed to be incapable of facing life on its own terms. Most of us realized that in our addiction, we were slowly committing suicide. But addiction is such a cunning enemy of life that we had lost the power to do anything about it. Many of us ended up in jail or sought help through medicine, religion, or psychiatry. None of these methods was sufficient for us. Our disease always resurfaced or continued to progress until, in desperation, we sought help from each other in Narcotics Anonymous. After coming to NA, we realized we were sick people. We suffered from a disease from which there is no known cure. It can, however, be arrested at some point, and recovery is then possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And next we have Joe reading How It Works. Go ahead, Joe.
I'm an addict named Joe. How it works. If you want what we have to offer and are willing to make the effort to get it, then you're ready to take certain steps. These are the principles that made our recovery possible. 1, we admitted that we were powerless over an addiction, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. 4, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, we admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we were entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, we humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. 8, we made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, we made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, we continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. Excuse me. 11, we sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to addicts and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Sounds like a big order, and we can't do it all at once. We didn't become addicted in one day, so remember, easy does it. There is one thing more than anything else that will defeat us in our recovery. This is an attitude of indifference or intolerance towards spiritual principles. Three of these that are indispensable are honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. With these, we are well on our way. We feel that our approach to the disease of addiction is completely realistic, for the therapeutic value of one addict helping another is without parallel. We feel that our way is practical, for one addict can best understand and help another addict. Man, we believe that the sooner we face our problems within our society and everyday living, just that much faster do we become acceptable, responsible, and productive members of that society. The only way to keep from returning to active addiction is not to take that first drug. If you're like us, you know that one is too many and thousands never enough. I put great emphasis on this, for we know that when we use drugs in any form or substitute one for another, we release our addiction all over again. Thinking of alcohol as different from other drugs has caused a great many addicts to relapse. Before we came to NA, many of us viewed alcohol separately, but we cannot afford to be confused about this. Alcohol is a drug, period. We are people with the disease of addiction who must abstain from all drugs in order to recover.
And thank you very much, Joe. Next up, we've got Terry reading the 12 traditions. Go ahead, Terry. In a second. There we
Hi,
go.
everybody. I'm Terry, an addict. Did you ever put up? Oh, I got on the wrong screen. Okay. We keep what we have only with vigilance, and just as freedom for the individual comes from the 12 steps, so freedom for the group springs from our traditions. As long as the ties that bind us together are stronger than those that would tear us apart, all will be well. 1, our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends on any unity. 2, for group purpose, there is but one ultimate authority, a loving God, as he may express himself in our group conscience. Our leaders are but trusted servants, they do not govern. 3, the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using. 4, each group should be autonomous except in matters affecting other groups or NA as a whole. 5, each group has but one primary purpose, to carry the message to the addict who still suffers. 6, an NA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the NA name to any related facility or outside enterprise. These problems of money, property, or prestige divert us from our primary purpose. 7, every NA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. 8, Narcotics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. 9, NA as such ought never be organized, but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible for those they serve. 10, Narcotics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues, hence the NA name ought never be drawn into public controversy. 11, our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and films. 12, anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever remind us to place principles before personalities. Understanding these traditions comes solely over a period of time. We pick up information as we talk to members and visit various groups. It usually isn't until we get involved with service that someone points out that personal recovery depends on NA unity, and that unity depends on how well we follow our traditions. The 12 traditions of NA are not negotiable. They are the guidelines that keep our fellowship alive and free. By following these guidelines in our dealings with others in society at large, we avoid many problems. That is not to say that our problems, I lost my place again. That is not to say that our traditions eliminate all problems. We still have to face difficulties as they arise. Communication problems, differences of opinion, internal controversies, and troubles with individuals and groups outside the fellowship. However, when we apply these principles, we avoid some of the pitfalls. Many of our problems are like those that our predecessors had to face. Their hard-won experience gave birth to the traditions, and our own experience has shown that these principles are just as valid today as when these traditions were formulated. Our traditions protect us from the internal and external forces that could destroy us. They are truly the ties that bind us together. It's only through understanding and application that they work.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, everybody, for reading. To donate to the Seventh Tradition for ARCNA 34, please use SquarePay. I will put the link into the chat, and it is also going to be on the live stream for the YouTube video. In addition, I wanted to point out that any room reservations that are made with the DoubleTree for ARCNA 34, you can cancel them all the way up until, sorry, Maya, what was that date that
So it's,
you?
yeah, 24 hours up to the day of the event. As long as you make your room reservation between now and June 30th, 24 hours before the first day you have reserved, you can cancel or change the reservation due to COVID, and they've changed that policy for now.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So yeah, if you're interested in going, it's a great opportunity and you don't really have any risk with it. So it's time to get to our speaker. The format for this speaker meeting is the topic of no matter what. Our speaker will share for 45 to 60 minutes on the topic. So please help me welcome all the way from Denmark, Lars. If I can get him unmuted. There we go. Lars.
Thank you, Matt. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm nervous. My name is Lars, and I'm an addict. Yeah, it's hard to say hello and no one say hello back. I'm not used to it. But now I can hear my friends and home group members. Some of them are with me. I can hear them. That's great. Thank you, guys. Okay, I am 55 years young. I am been clean for 17 years, and I'm growing up in a city in Denmark, Aalborg. When I was 6 years old, I come home from kindergarten, and my mother was putting some of my clothes. It was ready for me to get. She was packing it. It's the word. I am thinking Danish, try to express myself in English, and I am nervous for not being good enough, and I'm thinking, what are you thinking? And all that crazy thoughts an addict has in his head. It's me right now. So, but I was just talking to some of the guys before that. I have an excuse for fucking up on English. It's better than if I was fucking up in Danish. But it's okay. I just have to get out of the self-centered feeling I starting out from. But it's a part of my history, just a little bit before, so you know where I came from, and a big part of my recovery history after that. And it's important to say that it is my understanding of the NA program, not NA's. And that's where I often get fucked up in it. It's yeah. But when I, as I say, when I was 6, my mother has packed some of my clothes and stuff. And when I was coming home from kindergarten, she was sent me in a cab to my grandparents with the clothes and a note in my pocket where my daddy's name is Bjarne, and on the note there was writing, hello Bjarne, here is Lars, he looks like you, keep him. And then my mother was leaving. That is what I was told. I saw my mother next time when I was 15 years old, I think. My mother says it is not the truth, but I was growing up with this story, and that's the way I saw it for many years. I was sometimes still is. I have this I'm suspicion of everything, and I have problems with relations to other people. Not so much anymore, but sometimes it still show up in me, and I hear this voice and feel these feelings. But it is okay today. I was many years parents. My grandma was like a god for me. I love her. She was the person I trust most in the whole world. And she was dying when I was 10. And same year when I was 10, I used first time. And from that day it progressed, and when I was 25 or so years later, I got clean. I have been to prison for like 7 years. I have been homeless. I have walked on the street, living on the streets. I have not getting clean clothes on for like a month. I have not been in contact with clean running water or have a bed to sleep in for a long time. So I have been really, really fucked up and in really pain inside. So I am. It blows my mind that you, ARCNA, you guys ask me to speak. Hopeless. There's something wrong. So for that, I thank you very much for trusting me for an hour. I have some good friends in Arizona. It was meant to attend the convention this year and visit my friends, but I gave it up because of Corona. God moves or works in mysterious way, so I am at ARCNA anyway. That's great. Yeah. When I got clean, I get some advice, find a sponsor, get a home group, work the steps, and get a contact to a higher power of my understanding. And I did that. I got a sponsor. He is dead now. His name was Paul, and I love him very much. He was like a god to me the first year in my recovery, and I learned a lot from him. He was he was so great and good to me. I worked the 12 steps with him, and so you guys, when you work the steps, there is a lot of things happen and a lot of material coming up to the surface and see the light. So he has seen me for everything that I am, and I have I just love him. When I was 5 years clean, he relapsed and he died. And I think maybe he took his own life because it was so in the insanity he was going back to in his relapse was not to bear, not to live with that. But that's the way I see it. Maybe it's not the truth, but anyway, he died, and I was very sad, and oh yeah, and I can feel it now too. Yeah, I got a new sponsor, and he is the guy I have today, and he is not Paul, but he is a new Paul to me. He's every time I call him, he helps me, and he is there for me any time of the day or night when I need him. And I'm not afraid to call my sponsor. The topic, no matter what, I will do whatever it takes, and I would reveal every secret and everything I have just to get better or stay in my recovery. I have I got the message from Cassie until now. I have spoken a lot in my head, and then I have thought my thoughts have been of what do this speak for me? What do I bring to the meeting? There's some persons that are very important to me, like the guys I told you, Paul and my sponsor now, and one of the finest person I have ever met. His name was Steph. He was one of my and H and I warrior, and we are doing a lot of service together in that area we are living in. And he died from lung cancer 3 years ago. So I lost nearly 50% of my network that day. It was not so big because of the way I was talking about from the beginning, the way I have this suspicious mind, and I'm not so good with relations. I'm better than I was when I was 2 years old or 5 years old in my recovery, but it's still sometimes a problem, and getting new friends or build something to my network is not easy for me. So I have a small network, but it's, you know, it's good, and I'm safe, and I am armed with proper ammunition in my recovery with these guys. But he died, and I had a lot of grief, and I knew I have to get some more people in my life, people in recovery. So I started to invite people to coffee, or invite myself to coffee at their home, or doing steps in groups, doing tradition in groups. My iPad fucks up right now, shifting from big pictures to small pictures. And okay, now I'm back. I have experience, again, the topic we don't use no matter what. And I have been experienced some other form of grief, like one of my grandchildren. I have I had 5 grandchildren. One of them died, and I was so sad, and behalf of my son and his girlfriend, but I didn't pick up, not even a cigarette. I eat some more, but that's it. I know today, I would like to go back. When we are talking about our message, I heard a speaker last night. He was giving me a story about it in so beautiful ways. But our message is that an addict, any addict, can stop using, lose their desire, and find a new way of living. And these 3 things I can split up, and I can see I could stop. I have been using for 28 years. So I think I did not know any people who are clean. Or if I met one, I would say, the suspicion mind told me it's lie. They are using sometimes. And I am 2 times I have been in treatment. Second time it was a treatment where they use our fellowship. So that's the time I stay clean. So I could stop. That was a success. And I have no desire for using. And I have not had. It has been that way for many years. I am certain that my step working and my power and my little but the good solid network I have is why I don't have desire to use. Every day I get more information about the new way of life. I'm still there, and I am learning and trying to be the best example of me every day, with living my guide every day, it's our spiritual principles. One of the first thing I heard when I got clean, it was that one guy said to me, it's a honest and loving program, and the love is honestly is important, very important, but the love in the fellowship is it's the fuel who can, I would say, the way I've wanted to live every day is through the love I get from my network and my friends, and again, armed with proper armor in recovery. I have worked for many years. You know, when I was in treatment, I have a counselor who was my role model, and I want to be like him. So I have to be a counselor. And that I've been for 15 years, 16. And I met my wife in treatment, and it was not a good idea. Everybody says, but we are married today and have been together as long as I have been clean. And I talked to her first. The guys I'm with tonight, they pray with me before I go on and speak. And after that, I call my wife. She is with my I can't remember. She is with her father. He is a sick old man and he is dying, and she is home taking care of him. So I call her and she says, just speak from the heart. So everything is good. And I try to. I am born to, I have been a liar all my life. So in our first step, I have to be honest. It was very difficult for me. So she says, speak honestly from the heart. Okay, I try. Yeah. I have done, I would say that my service CV is long. I have done service from I walked into the fellowship, but today I'm doing service at the highest level in Narcotics Anonymous, in my home group. I have done it at many other levels, but I am at my home group now, and that's the most important place for me to be. Beside that, I do service in ARCNA, and in Denmark we are producing our own merchandise, or try to, T-shirt and key hangers and stuff like that. And with some other guys, I have been doing that. I have the honor of doing that for many years now. That's so, yeah. The service, what's happened to me when I do service, it's a part of, it's a part of the whole package with the armed with proper army. ammunition in my recovery. That the service is a part of it, of course. Last year I was I was on vacation in Spain, Malaga, for 5 weeks, and I was walking maybe 420 kilometers. In Denmark, it's kilometers, not miles. So I don't know how much it is, but I walked a lot every day, and I was high up in the mountain, and I was enjoying it very much. When I come home, 2 days after I come home from vacation, I was I had a doctor appointment, and I get a diagnosis with prostate cancer, and it is spreading to my bones and to my lymphs and to my lungs, and they can't do anything for me, they say. So on the paper at the hospital, I am a dying person, but I have an appointment and a deal with my higher power that that's not the way it's going to be. And I refuse to sit down and just let the cancer eat me. So I done some stuff in the early in the after I got the message of the cancer, and I took some medical cannabis to try to cure or reduce some of the metastasis, the way they are spreading, and it was helping, but I was it was so dark sometimes. I was so fucking high of all that medication I was getting, and it was so hard, and it was between a rock and a hard place. It was so hard for me to be there. But again, I was armed with proper ammunition in my recovery. So my friends were there. I have I have many good buddies here, but one of them come all the way from Copenhagen to the city I live in, Esbjerg, and stays for 3 days, and was doing that once a month for many months. And I am getting a lot of prayers from all around the world. The friends in the fellowship I have prays for me, and every day I thank for my prayers are being heard, and they are working, because I like to say that I have been sick. I am not sick of cancer anymore, and I'm not feeling like I am sick. I am. Sometimes I would describe it as a gift, because when I was getting this message of prostate cancer, I was again in another education. I have a couple of them in the time I've been clean, and sometimes in one of this time, I don't know how to say, I have been more occupied with education than my recovery sometimes. And again, I was a place in my life where an education was so important for me to get, because I not always feel like I am enough. So when I have this paper of what I can, you know, all these educations, then I'm good. So social acceptance was very, I run fast to get it again. And then I stop and take care of my program, and certainly I forgot it. And then I run fast again to be accepted, and I stop. And yeah, it's happened maybe 50, 4 or 5 times or so. Like if I have 4 educations, I was starting on the 5th, but I stopped because of the cancer, and I get back to what that the importance of my program and the service level I upgraded, and I start writing my 10-step every day. I talk more to my sponsor. I just upgraded my whole program because I was so afraid. I was afraid of dying, but I was also afraid of go back using. My friends, when I was in the medication treatment, my friends asked me, "Oh, how are you doing with this medication, cannabis? How much morphine do you get every day?" And they were not controlling me. They were asking in interest for my well-being, and I loved them for that. I was so lucky. I am so blessed with these guys. And again, when I was sick and I saw the value of these guys, they were there for me. They called me when I couldn't get the phone up myself, and so I'm so blessed. When I was at the convention in San Diego, it's 10 years ago or something like that, I saw a homeless guy with only one shoe on. He has a piece of paper from a cardboard box where he has writing on, "Count your blessings." And I do that a lot. I am a really wealthy man today with the program, my principles, my friendship, and the feeling I have about myself today is in my everyday life. It's okay. I don't know if I love myself, but I'm closer to my home address that I have ever been. One of my I was a speaker at our convention here in Esbjerg in February, in March. And after the speak, my wife said that I forget to mention Milas. And now you are thinking, who the fuck is Milas? I tell you, it's one of my grandchildren. The smallest of them. His mother is a sponsor of my wife, and he is a donor child. Is that what it's called in English? He don't know his father, so he has no grandparents on this side, and his mother's parents are dead too, so she has no family. And I saw her, today you do everything on Facebook. So she announced for grandparents on Facebook. I think, what the fuck? So I said to my wife, why has he not asked us to be his grandparents? So I asked her if we could be his grandparents. And we are so lucky she said yes. So she is not my daughter of blood, but she is my daughter, and she is not my grandson by blood, but he is the closest person of the small ones I have in my life. I love him dearly, and he means a lot to me. And I was so, one of the most sad, the thing I was most sad about when I get the message about the cancer, I was so sad that I shouldn't see him grow up. But it only took like half a year, 8 months, then I get over that, and I am certain that I'm gonna survive this this cancer, and I am ready to do anything, no matter what. I'll do that. I talked about with my sponsor about it, and this disease, he is has some lung disease and is very sick too. So we talk about using the steps in this particular problems too. You know, this I didn't even notice I was having this cancer, and I I walked 300 miles for like 5 weeks around the area in Malaga, and I couldn't feel anything in my body about cancer. I have some pain, but I'm 55, so that's well normal. And it comes as a shock. I think that comes as a shock for everyone who gets a message like that. But I am running a half marathon every Sunday, and I'm using as my cycle to work every day, and boom, then I'm sick, and I am trying to live with. I am a whole other person now. Not now, but when I was at the worst state in this process of this cancer disease. So I am powerless over this, like I am over the addiction. And in my second step, one of the things people are not sharing about the spiritual principle from the second step, hope, their openness, and some other stuff. It's not so often people are talking about the hope. I see it in action. And when I hear people share, it's of course it's lying in their share, but not as the word hope. It's very important for me to always have that with me in this here. So in my second step, I have to in this disease of the cancer, hope to get through it and survive, and lay it over to my higher power in my third step. Is, yeah, I can't do anything else. So I eat healthy. The guys are with me today. I know, not today. I eat pizza today, but every day I eat a lot of salad. I would try to reduce some of all the meat. I am not using sugar. November last year, and I have eaten a whole pack of chocolate in Denmark, Marabou. That's my favorite. Eat a pack of that, and if you have put me into a scanner, a scanner where you can see where all the cancer is spread, then you will light up as a Christmas tree, because the sugar it's not good when you have cancer. So I don't use sugar. One of my friends in Finland, Brandon, she is not here today, I think, but she says to me once, I offered her a drink to a meal, and it was a Coke, and she said, "No, thank you, Lars. Sugar is a drug I can't afford to use." So I took that to me, and I try not to do it. Today I drink Coke and eat pizza. It's one of these days. I do a lot of meditation. Thanks to my 11 steps, I have learned about meditation. So when I get this disease, cancer, I have the tools to go against it. I do yoga every day. Specific, I don't know if it is called the right thing in English, but the 5 Tibetans, I would call it. They are helping me too. So, yeah, I am a very, very lucky and grateful addict today. My life is fantastic. All through Narcotics Anonymous program. I can't run anymore. That's advice from the doctor, don't run. I have some of the spreading are through my spine, so I can't jump and I can't run, but I can ride my bicycle. And I know it's not a bike. I heard a speaker once, he was a biker, maybe, I think he's American, so he ride a Harley. But he says, even when I ride alone, I ride with the best. And on my bike, it's a track, Excalibur number 7. Even when I ride alone, I ride with the best. In my thoughts, and my higher power is always with me. I would like to say a prayer with you before I close. I was at a convention in London for many years ago, and one of the speakers at this convention was a guy from India, and he had this prayer with him. And I was a newcomer, and it was so hard for me to ask him if he would write this down for me, but he did. I have the courage to ask him. That was great. Again, I do what it takes, no matter what. My heart is sitting here, but I ask him. I was thinking now I'm dying because my heart was on the way out of my chest, but I ask him. It goes like this. It's called Addict's Prayer. I don't know if you know it, but I was so blessed. Yeah, it was so great for me to hear it. God bless all the addicts wherever they may be. Bless those who unfortunately who are most in need of recovery. Look upon them with compassion and mercy, and lead them on to this wonderful fellowship that only through you they may help themselves as they had helped me and thousands others. Bless those who are clean today. Give grace to those who are on their way. But God, please show compassion and mercy to those who may never come. Thank you so much. My name is Lars and I'm adding. Thanks for letting me share.
Awesome. Thank you, Lars. I'm going to unmute everybody. Let's hear for Lars.
Thanks, Thank you, Lars. Awesome job.
Beautiful
Hi,
prayer.
Lars.
Thank you,
Beautiful.
Lars.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you so much for your share. Really appreciate it. Great way to close the convention. All right. Before closing the convention, we are going to be reading We Do Recover. And I like that. You got the Coke up there. I want to see the pizza as well, Lars. Maya's going to screen share, and Nancy is going to read We Do Recover. Let me unmute you here, Nancy. And there you go.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you very much, Matthew. My name is Nancy and I'm an addict. And just very quickly, I had the same prayer. I went to the WSC World Service Convention here in California, and I sat next to an addict that actually wrote that same poem. I mean, that same prayer. So that's a total God shot. Thank you for being of service and your beautiful message. Really inspired me today. All right, so here we go. When at the end of the road, we find that we can no longer function as a human being, either with or without drugs, we all face the same dilemma. What is there left to do? There seems to be this alternative, either go on as best we can to the bitter ends, jails, institutions, or death, or find a new way to live. In years gone by, very few addicts ever had this last choice. Those who are addicted today are more fortunate. For the first time in man's entire history, a simple way has been proving itself in the lives of many addicts. It is available to us all. This is a simple, spiritual, not religious program known as Narcotics Anonymous. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Nancy. Crazy. The God shots. I love it. All right. Again, I just want to say thank you to Lars for coming on all the way from Denmark, sharing your experience, strength, and hope. I want to give a special shout out to Brenda V. She is the the subcommittee chair for fundraising and entertainment. And even though this is an ARCNA event, the fundraising and entertainment committee kind of put it all together. Again, big shout out to Laura for being the ARCNA chair, and can't wait to see everybody in person at the DoubleTree Hotel, the end of July, beginning of August. So if you have any other questions, please reach out to any of the links that we put up there. Contact me, anybody. We just want to get connected as much as we can. And we will close this meeting with a moment of silence for the addict still sick and suffering, followed by the third step prayer. Everybody's going to stay muted, so please follow along at home. Many of us have said, take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, and show me how to live. All right. Thank you, everybody, for a great event, great convention. It was wonderful. Thank you, everybody, for your service.
And thanks to all the co-chairs, and thank you, Matthew. Awesome job. Thank you so much.
Great job, you guys. Great job.
Awesome. Thank you. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm going to go and save this video. So anybody who's wanting to see this video going forward, it will be on YouTube. Just search for ARCNA 34 space Zoom edition.